Hello guys, my name is Kumar, welcome to this new video, and today, how are you doing today? Because I'm doing absolutely fucking terribly. Seriously, I'm really tired. Like, I don't get why. Well, it might be caused by two reasons. It may be caused by the weather or by the fact that I literally just arrived at my home, because up until now I've been just going from school to school. Still though, I'm super tired today, and despite of the fact that that intro might have been quite a bit energetic, trust me, give it a couple of minutes and I'll sound like stoned mighty jingles. Still though, today we are gonna be watching Berjutka playing in his or hers T-44, a tank which back in the day actually used to be one of the worst tanks in the entire game. It even got a spot on the most overestimated tanks in the game list, where I was discussing, well, obviously the most overestimated tanks in the entire game. And if I'm correct, this tank was, it might have been like maybe third or second. I don't know which spot it took, I just know that it was on that list. Still though, this tank back in the day used to be absolutely terrific. Still, a lot of people played it thanks to a really simple reason, and that's that it was the only way you could get the high tier Russian broken ass medium tanks. Seriously, there was no other tank that you could use to get the tier 10 medium tanks, Russian medium tanks, than this tank. So literally everybody had to play it, and it was like a bottleneck for every single noob in the entire game. But, well, the tank at the time literally had just one single strong point, and that was the 390 alpha damage. Apart from that, it had terrible everything. Terrible penetration, terrible accuracy, bad mobility, bad armor, bad everything. But as the Russian mediums were kind of rebalanced, this tank was given a decent kind of competitive second top gun, which our hero might be seen right now using. It deals 250 alpha damage, it has pretty nice EPM of like 2100 if I'm correct, and a penetration of 190. It also isn't like, ouch, that was loud. It also isn't like the least accurate gun. It is like 0.34 accuracy, which is freaking glorious considering the fact that it's a Soviet medium tank. Seriously, accuracy of this kind is kind of rare on these tanks. Still though, our hero is currently playing it, and within first 2.5 of a minute, he or she was already able to get their HPs in damage, which is pretty remarkably good. Like, the tank still isn't somehow super amazing, but compared to its old self, it's definitely much better. The old version of this tank was absolutely horrific. Like, it was one of the worst tanks to ever be in this game. Still though, there is the enemy Liberté, one of the free enemy tier 8 tanks. Well, soon enough it's gonna be one of the free enemy dead tanks, because here we go, one shell into him, the Liberté can't turn fast enough, second shell into him, and give it a couple of seconds, there's gonna be a third shell into him. Oh, that was nice bounce. Thanks to that bounce, you were able to claim your second kill of this game. But as we all might see, the north of the map is being dominated by the enemies. You have won only the south. The north has been completely obliterated, and as it seems, even the south is slowly falling apart, as that Sherman, was it the Sherman Jumbo? I got no idea. Still though, as that Sherman right now got killed by the enemy IKEA. A second shell into the Cromwell. Will the third shell finish him off? Come on. Ah, there we go, another loud ass hit, but the Cromwell is down. That's what you get for being an annoying fucktard playing a broken ass tier 6 medium. Seriously, I fucking hate the tank. Cromwell, like, I played it only a very few times in my life. I just bear a grudge against that tank. I hate it. Like, whenever I see it, I just know that one specific person which is playing it hates fun. He hates any sort of a teamwork and hates fun. Still though, right now the Berjutka is on an RD hunt. There's the first artillery, the M44, which only right now realized that you are shooting at it. And only at the very last second it started turning its gun towards you, and it was way too freaking late. It was pretty much guaranteed to be killed. Still though, right now we need to help out your northern flank, because as I've said, they are completely falling apart. Well, now they're completely falling apart and the enemies are slowly moving south. Another shell into, well, first shell into the Panther M10. Here we go, here's gonna be the second shell, and will we get a third one? Will we get a third one? Oh, the Panther M10 put the third shell into you and just dinged. There we go, a third shell, enough to finish him off and get you the 5th kill of this game. Right behind this ridgeline there's gonna be an enemy STG guard, which is not necessarily a good tank. When I saw it for the first time, I literally felt bad for it. That tank was hyped up to be a broken ass Russian medium tank, and suddenly when it was released, everybody completely hyped up about it, just instantly bought it, and they found out that's absolutely terrific tank. Literally the only good thing about the STG guard is, if I'm correct, it's armor? Yeah, I do have a feeling like it's armor. Even the armor is pretty bad. If I'm correct, it only has thread armor. The whole armor is absolutely horrific. Seriously. Well, it also has pretty good alpha damage, as we might have seen. The STG guard right now put a shell into our hero, dealing 436 damage. Well, it won't help the guard all that much. By the way, right now there's a bit of a wrong choice of ammunition, because I do have a feeling like if you shell him like that with an AP shell, you would still be able to penetrate. But, well, it's your game. I'm not gonna judge. I'm just saying that using your regular standard ammunition would be probably better in this kind of a situation. Later on, you would probably need exactly that round. There's an enemy Churchill 7, which is kind of, for some unknown reason, considered to be a tier 6 tank. Seriously, if it's a Churchill 7, can't you just bump it up a bit and make it a tier 7 tank? It would be kinda nice. It would be satisfying to look at, but no, it's wargaming, so they have obviously got to make it a tier 6 tank. Still though, the Bereshetka was able to kill him and get himself, the 7th kill of this game. So, by the way, the reason why am I constantly just like jumping in between him or her in this kind of a case is that in Slovak language, Bereshetka would be a female name. But at the same time, I do know that, for example, in Polish, it could be also a male name. So I got no idea whether, well, even in Russian, it could actually be, especially in Russian, it could be a feminine, male name. So yeah. So there is only one single ally left alive, which is sadly an artillery, the M44. It might be the best artillery at a tier 6, but it is still an artillery, so it won't be much of an help to you. And there are 3 enemies still left, 2 of which are absolutely ridiculously broken tanks. Here's the Oni, which is right now capping your cap circle, and look at this wonderful bushwork. That should look as if you were inside of the bush and he didn't spot you. That is kind of surprising. Still though, there we go, a third hit into the Oni. Will we get a 4th one? We will. There we go, a 4th one. You once again looked as if you were in front of the bush, but you apparently were. One shell, you need to finish him off. It doesn't matter whether or not you are gonna get spotted, and you did get spotted by the enemy VK. Where's the enemy AMX? You seriously need to get rid of that annoying little bugger. This tank can get to be super freaking annoying. It has ridiculous rate of fire, one of the highest bursts in the entire game. It's like a machine gun, except for the fact that instead of shooting the regular standard rounds that a machine gun gets, so you know, like half a centimeter across, up to a centimeter at, well, half a centimeter is a bit too little, it's not a machine gun. Still though, maybe like 0.8 centimeter, maybe 1 centimeter in diameter rounds. No, it's not shooting those kinds of rounds. It's shooting like, what's the caliber of it? 75 mil? Still though, here we go, here's the MX, a quick shell into him and he is dead. There's just one enemy left alive and you are alone on it. Sadly, the last enemy alive is the VK16801P. I don't know which tank this is, but isn't it the Mauerbrecher, or how's it called, the sort of new German super heavy premium tank. I do have a feeling like it is that tank, and he already had a pretty decent game, and from what we might have seen when you spotted him inside of your cap circle, he had about 70% of its HPs left, which is definitely a bad message. It's definitely a bad thing to know. Well, it's a good thing to know, but it's definitely a bad thing, because that guy can actually one-shot you. If I'm correct, the Mauerbrecher has like 390 alpha damage, so most of the time he should be able to one-shot you. So yeah, you have got to be super careful. You have got to just approach him slowly and hope that you're gonna be able to penetrate him while he will somehow magically miss you. Because that tank, if I'm correct, isn't the most accurate of all of the tanks. It has like 0.4 accuracy or something like that. It is a derp gun. Well, it is not a derp gun, but it is a really high caliber gun. So it's rather inaccurate. Here we might see actually that this tank is not exactly all that slow. In this swampy terrain, it's able to get up to 50 kilometers per hour, which is remarkably high, considering the fact that seriously the ground over here is absolutely terrifying. Still, at this very moment the enemy VK is capping and you desperately need to reset a cap. Also, the fact that it is capping at this very moment means that you cannot approach it carefully. You need to just pop into the nearest bush and hope that you'll be able to shoot it and it won't be able to shoot you back. There we go, we are trying to spot it, and there we go. It has a quack quack on the side of its thread, and despite the fact it doesn't look like a duck at all. And there we go, it's turning its thread. Oh, run away! Oh, you managed to bounce that shell. Actually, now that I'm looking at, you're actually utilizing the pretty nice side armor that this tank gets to its greatest potential. You're constantly angling. When I was like watching this replay for the first time, I haven't even realized it. But good freaking job with that angling. You definitely seem to be a really skilled player. And there we go, another bush, and behind another bush is gonna be another bush. And behind it is gonna be another bush. So many bushes. Still, there's the BK, he knows where you are, he's going straight for you. There we go, finally first shell penetrated. Second shell, will it penetrate? It penetrated. Come on, we need a third shell, we need a fourth shell, we still need at least 3 hits. Here we go, another shell into him, he's down to only 600 health. Come on, in our shell, we still need 3 shells because you low rolled a couple of them. Armor not penetrated, that is definitely not something we wanna see. You're looking for that cupola right now, oh don't you dare to come out all that much. You can't depress your gun far enough. There we go, another shell into the VK, it was a high roll, you need 2 more shells and you cannot get hit. There we go, another shell into, and that was a close game. Fucking motherfucker with quack quack on the side of his thread, why? You're ruining such a good game. Well, ruining such a good game. Technically speaking, the VK also had a pretty decent game. Shows how it didn't have as good of a game as the Bereshotka has, with 7,238 damage, 9 kills, and over 1,200 experience. But we can't deny the fact that the VK also had a pretty decent game. Also, I should point out one thing, and that is the STG guard that I was talking about being a pretty bad tank. Also had a really good of a game. Just look at these stats, man. Look at these stats. If we look into the personal score, we can see that you were able to get yourself 8 medals in total. 3 less important medals, but you were able to get yourself as well Radley Walters medal, Defender medal for definitely the defense against the VK and against the Oni. You were also able to get a high caliber for getting 6 kills or more, tank sniper, which is actually kind of surprising considering the fact that you are playing a medium tank, and a top gun for... I just kind of messed up top gun and high caliber. Professional replay commentator right over here. Still though, I already spoke about these kinds of things. In the detailed report, we might see that you aren't actually using premium, which is kind of surprising considering how good of a player you are. Still though, even without premium, you were able to lose only 22,000 credits, which is remarkably good considering the fact that, well, it's a tier 8 game and you are not playing a premium tank. So yeah. You also didn't really spam all that many premium rounds, even though the idea of feeling like you fired at least 10 of them, you still fired like 25 standard rounds, so it's not much of a bad thing to use some of the premium rounds. It definitely was something that we cannot consider you like a premium spammer or anything like that. Still though, an absolutely amazing game. You were able to also actually damage blocked by armor 875. That's kind of rare to see with this thing. It's still like it has pretty decent armor. It has almost completely impenetrable turret armor, but the whole armor is pretty much paper. It's almost impossible to not penetrate it. So yeah, seeing this thing block any sort of damage is kind of rare, so good job on that as well. You didn't get all that much spotting, which is kind of saddening, but I guess everybody can be like, alright, that's good, since you were able to deal over 7,000 damage, which is absolutely amazing. Overall, you were able to get yourself 2,000 experience, partially thanks to the achievements, but also thanks to the regular base experience. Still though, this is gonna be the end of this video. Hope you enjoyed, and I hope that I'll see you next time. Bye.